Hi, I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber, coming to you on YouTube Live. Great to be here. So, learn all things about plumbing live right here on YouTube. So, first of all, hello and welcome to everybody. This is the great place to learn. Turn my audio down. I'm peaking super high. Ooh, let me see what's going on here. Let's try this. Peoples, it's turned all the way up. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2, looking good. So hello and welcome to another episode of Learn All Things Plumbing right here. Whether you are getting into the trades, whether you're in the trades and want to get better, whether you're in the trades and want to own your own plumbing company one day, or maybe you own your own plumbing company and you want to learn how to get your name out there more, how to do social media. Number one, welcome to the channel. What this is all about is this is an opportunity for you to spend some time with other people that want to get into the trades, apprentices, journeymen, company owners, and ask questions, hang out, get to network with real people. If you've never been here before and you are just finding this video and you're watching a replay, you may want to watch a little bit because you may find questions here that get answered that can really help you out. Now, if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. And if you are watching this replay, but you're looking for a specific video, go check out my channel. Do me a favor, find a video that you like and let me know what you think. If you really like it, subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on anything. Now, I'm going to jump down in the chat real quick and say hello, see what is going on. Man, I have already got things happening down here, and I don't know why my scroller's not working at all. There we go. Small Town Fisherman says, so excited. And I don't know why I can't see the bottom, but maybe that's because there is no bottom there. Jack's Plumbing Videos, good to see you. Steven Erickson, man, welcome in here. How are you doing today? Drew Johnson, hi, Roger. How do you grow a mustache like that? You know what? That's one I can't tell that information to everybody. Man, I mean, can you imagine if every plumber could do this? I mean, I would look just like all y'all are. Y'all look just like me, man. That would be scary. You know what, Drew? I'm really lucky. I literally, and let me see if I can do this. Absolutely, booyah. I literally started growing facial hair at the age of 15. At 15, I could grow a beard. Literally, I have not shaved since Wednesday until this morning. And I mean, man, it wasn't as thick as my mustache, but I could have trimmed my mustache pretty short. I could have gone like as short as I did on my, as I do on my head. And y'all would have thought I had a full beard. Not too shabby. Actually, it's pretty cool. HVAC with Greg, welcome back to the house. Gustavo Mata's in here. Jack's Plumbing Videos has got the snacks. You got to love it. Look at this. Barney Films 85 in here tonight. Good to see you. Beat You Beach YT, good to see you. Bhargav Patel, man, we got a lot of people in here. Yeah, I turned down, man, we did. Guys, if, number one, too, if you see my logo, I'm looking at it up here and I'm getting a rotating logo. I don't know how it's coming up on here, but y'all let me know. If you see the rotating logo, let me know. We put a GIF file in here today to see what we do. If this does not work, we'll fix it. But, man, I'm watching up here. It's rotating from my face to, man, I've got a cool little rotator. I like that. James says, audio sounds good. HVAC with Greg, I love it. Julie says, I can hear you. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. and that's great because yeah, Julie can hear me because she's in the next room. And I do tend to talk a little bit loud. I get it. Sorry, getting me a little water there. HVAC with Greg says your 4th to 6th live stream. Fantastic. Got Lady More Natural back in the house. Good to have you here. You know, man, you were here for a long time, then you were out for a while. Now you're back. It is good to see you. Small Town Fisherman says, howdy, Julie. Favorite thing about plumbing? Man, we're going to get into it quick. I love this. You know, I've got to say, my favorite thing about plumbing is probably the customer experience. And I know that sounds funny, but number one, I love my customers. And to get out and have the satisfaction of actually getting to spend time with my customers. getting to talk with a customer. I've got a customer I went and saw today. She is a real estate agent. She introduced me to some of her clients that are buyers. And I got to tell you, it's nice to come out and get to talk to people and explain what problems there are, what problems they're seeing. And man, that is probably my favorite thing, the customer interaction. I love talking to the customers. I love dealing with them. But at the end of the day, my biggest thing is, man, I love taking care of people, teaching them about what it is I see, what I think is causing the problems, and what the possible solutions are. So I love it. Yeah, the beard guy. And Julie's right. And this is true because Julie's known me for a long time, and she's heard the stories. The beard got me in trouble when I was a teenager. When I was 15, I could get into any country bar in town. I could buy beer. I could go dancing. I could hang out till they closed. And man, I got to tell you, she's right. It definitely got me in trouble more than once. Did the live sub count clock get smaller? Man, if you're talking to one back here, it shouldn't, but it says 46,400 people right now. It didn't get smaller that I'm aware of, but I'm getting older, so that may be my problem. Julie says it just sees a small black dot for my profile pic. Okay, we'll have to work on that then. Thank you so much. Small Town Fisherman says, I smashed my finger today with a hammer. It wasn't fun. I'll tell you what, I don't care what you smash your finger with. It ain't fun. Roman Mercher, how come the piece of pipe from the 90 to the toilet flange can't be higher than 22 inches? You'll too much force there can cause it to suck the trap dry on the toilet. The shower cannot be, I believe, the same thing. It may be 22, it may be 24. You get too much of a drop there, and then you create a suction, and it causes problems. You can cause it to flush a trap dry or suck one dry. You can do a lot of different things. It's not broken. I'm going to lance it tonight and hope the nail doesn't die. I tell you what, man, I could tell you stories about a nail. I've actually had to pull off a half a nail. Actually, I helped a doctor pull a toenail off Julie one day. Didn't help him. I just talked him into it. Sorry, Julie. Let me see. Get out of here before I get in trouble. John Smith says, question, if I join the plumbing union in Texas and want to move to Florida, can I join the plumbing there, or once you're in one local, you have to stay there? No, actually, and John, that's a good question. If you join the local here as an apprentice and you move, you can talk to the apprentice hall and see if they can get you in the other apprentice hall. If you're a journeyman, you can contact the local that you're wanting to move to, contact your local and see if you can either move or transfer your card. Meaning you may go on a travel, you may go temporary, and then if you do a good job there, they let you transfer it in. So a lot of different options there. Small town fisherman, water is wet. Man, ain't that the truth? Brendan Munson says, you should start a series where we send you photos of our installations and you show them and critique them. Number one, I don't like critiquing people's work. We all learn and do things different. I sometimes look at things and say, hey, I'd have done this a little different. Here's what I'd have done. I don't like, if you want to get your work critiqued, go put it on some of these Facebook groups that people will bash it. I just don't like that. I believe that we ought to support each other and help each other, teach each other, train each other, but not just critique and bash. Jeff Brock says, starting my first day in the plumbing field tomorrow, have no experience except for little things around the house. Do you have any advice for a beginner? I'm 30 and drove a truck for 9 years prior. Jeff, number one, I want to tell you good luck and congratulations. I think it's great. I would tell you, stay up for the next 6 hours or so watching the videos that I say about, getting a job as an apprentice, becoming the best apprentice, things like that. There's a lot of things there that can help you a lot. Have you already talked to the company and asked what do you need to carry with you? What do you need to wear? But there's a lot of things that I think the videos will help you. One of the most important is, look, show up with a great attitude. Come prepared to learn. And if you do that, man, good stuff. Chris Little, what is your opinion on companies that try to do all aspects of plumbing? I've been in plumbing for 5 years in Florida, and all 5 years have been spent doing commercial, residential, new construction service, and remodels daily. You know what, Chris? I don't have a problem if companies are set up that way to where they've got big enough broadband to handle it. Me, I'm a small residential company. There's 4 plumbers here. So my thing is, the whole big thing behind everything we do is, if I pull my guys to do a small commercial job and I've got all 4 of us tied up one day, there's no service calls being ran, and that will hurt a company. It's not going to be good. There's going to be issues. If your company's big enough that it can handle it, it's great because people can move around and learn different things. So, man, I kind of like that. I think that's actually pretty cool. Danny Keene in here. Good to see you. How are you doing today? Deontay Richardson, can you do a video talking about travel and offset? I can. Actually, probably need to. What I've got one in my, I don't think I did a travel offset run. I don't think that I did all that. I don't think I did the formula for a rolling offset. There's a lot of things that we can do. We did a lot of those in our plumbing courses. That gets to be more information than a lot of people here want to know. But yeah, that's one that we can look at. Zachary Thompson says, in Dallas, live in Las Vegas, and I'm thinking of relocating. I get it. Man, I may have already gone through everything. Man, I'm on it today. I like that. No, maybe not. Missed one. How do you connect PVC to lead pipe? Well, that's a good one. So are you talking like a lead bend? Because they make a lead bend that has a PVC glue joint on it, a socket, so that you can actually glue that into a santee. One way to look at it there. I got a problem here. Hold on just 1 second. All right, we are back. I think I fixed it. Heard a little buzz over here, but I got it. HVAC with Greg, did I hear Charlie Daniels passed away earlier today? I did. And I hate, of course, when anybody passes away. But I've done security for Charlie Daniels before. He's got a road manager I really didn't care for. I've always loved Charlie Daniels' music, though. But got to tell you, man, when I heard it, it really surprised me. Said that he was, I think, 85 years old, and he's been fighting sickness here for a while. So, look, man, I hate to see that with anybody. Danny Kane says, lost you. Yeah, I hit the be right back button, but I came right back, just like I said I would. So I'm here. Talking about existing lead pipe in the house. I'll tell you what, Jack, man, I would be looking at replacement. We don't have a lot of lead pipe here. Not that I've seen or found or anything like that. So that's one I'd have to. What do y'all normally do? I'd be looking at replacing it. But, man, that's the only thing I know. What are y'all doing? Gustavo says, I have an interview with your local in a few days. I was going to wear a dress shirt and tie. Do you think that will be overdressed? Absolutely. Man, we are plumbers, guys. Dress like a plumber. Wear a decent shirt. You don't need to wear a tie. Wear a decent shirt. Wear a nice pair of jeans. Come in looking like you are ready to go. And, man, it'll work. Go watch some of my videos, Gustavo. Watch some of the videos and see what I talk about. Wear a nice shirt. Come in dressed good. Bring a tool bag. Bring a pen and paper. Be ready to take notes. And when I say paper, I mean like a notepad in your pocket. Be ready to take notes. Be ready to do a lot of things. But, man, come in with a great attitude and be ready to learn. Double J, double M, what do you think about turning your pressure washer to a sewer jetter? I've heard of people doing that, and I've thought about doing it. I want to buy an amazing jetter. I want a jetter that is just going to freaking nail it. I really want one that I can do anything in the world with. I think hydrojetters are great. And I like the ones that have the pressure. A lot of pressure. I like the ones you can change heads on. You have wands for. There's a lot of accessories that I'd like to get in there and play with. I truthfully think that a sewer machine literally goes through and pokes a hole in a clog. Not bad, but not the way I would want to do it. So my thought is you run a hydrojetter down there and you wash it out. You clean it. Get those pipes back as close to pristine as you can. And I think that is such a much more worthwhile job and a great thing to sell to your customers. Is new construction easier to get into compared to residential? It really depends on where you're at. It depends on what kind of work's going on, how busy people are. There's a lot of things there. Roman, do you recommend Energizer or Duracell for a battery vent? That is cute. I recommend the one that's going to get the fart fan moving the fastest to move the most air out. I like that. Zachary, does Texas have a big need for plumbers? Yes, sir, it does. Zachary, plumbers are in need, man, all across the United States. Look, I talk to a lot of plumbers across the United States. It's not just here. It is everywhere across the United States. And yes, we need a bunch of plumbers. Danny Keene, when I was hired, I had a shirt and tie. Office girls thought I was the new boss. You know what, Danny? I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm thinking, look, if I'm applying for an apprentice position or even a plumber, if I'm applying for a plumber position and I'm wearing a coat or tie or shirt and tie and slacks, man, they're going to think he ain't here to work. He wants to sit in the office. Now, if you're applying for a job as an estimator, as a salesman, as a director of operations, something like that, that may be a good attire. So it really depends on what you're doing or what you want to do. Where was I at? There we go. Matt Lemire, how are you? I'm taking your AccuPlacer. Okay, I got to hear this. Your AccuPlacer test for plumbing apprenticeship. Does that test dictate how I would be looked at by the company? Matt, where are you taking the AccuPlacer at? Just out of curiosity. I've never heard of it. I don't know that it would determine how you would be looked at. It sounds like it would be one that would accurately place you where you want to be or where you should be based on your experience. Meaning it says, hey, look, this guy's can answer questions that a fifth-year apprentice should be able to answer. That's where we're going to put him in at. So I'm not sure. Tell me where you're taking it, though. I'm just curious. Jazz Plumbing videos. I would try to go to the source of the lead pipe, change it out completely. I sometimes use no-hub bands, but I'm worried I'll crush the lead pipe into the no-hub band. Yeah, that would be my biggest fear. That is the first thing that I thought of is, man, if you try to squeeze it, you're going to crimp it down. I'd be willing to bet, though, that they make an adapter to go from lead to brass where you could solder the lead, and then you've got brass to clamp onto. That would be my thought. And I know they make them because they make the risers like that, that you can do like a stubby to go up to a lead flange or bring the lead up to a brass flange. So we've got Commodore Perry Watson. How are you, sir? Good to have you in here. First year apprentice. Congratulations. Where are you at? Guys, if you hadn't done it before, if you hadn't done it lately, do me a favor, drop a note in there and let me know where you're from. Where are you from? What year are you? How many years of experience do you have? Man, drop a note in there, and that way everybody else can see too. It's nice to connect with other people and see other people and what they do and things like that. So, man, drop a little information in there about yourself. Chris says, how do you feel about overworking your guys? What do you think is too much work in a day? Man, Chris, it really, it depends on the guys. I used to love it. I used to love working overtime because I understood it didn't last forever. And if I could work, 20 hours overtime for 3 or 4 weeks, man, I loved it because I knew for the next 3 or 4 weeks, it wasn't going to be there. It was going to slow down. Everything was going to be fine. I used to work on some big industrial jobs like Texas Instruments. And I mean, man, there was one year I had like 3,000 hours. Actually, it was over 3,000. And you go look at it, that's like 12 hours a day every day. It adds up quick. But I loved it. Now, different people are different. Different people, want to spend more time at home, more time with their family, things like that. Me, I loved working because I was trying to build up a savings to buy a house, to do this and do that. So I thought it was great. Commodore Perry Watson says, can you go over calculating fixture units and determining the appropriate pipe size? Man, that's one I do more in a training class. That would literally take me a while. I'm pulling out books and sharing screens, and I don't have everything set up for that right now. But that's one that we can do a video on. That'd actually probably be a good video. So that's one that I'll look at, but I'm not set up to do it here tonight. Matt Mann says, how old were you when you started your own company? Man, Matt, I'm the dumbest guy in the room, I got to tell you. Literally, I was, 50 years old, and I wish I'd have started 30 years ago. And I say that. Let me hold on. I say that if I'd have started 30 years ago, I'd have done it wrong. Now, I'm not saying I didn't do it wrong this time, but I've learned a lot. Man, I would start out as young as I could, but once I knew that I had systems and processes, I had my day together, I had a maturity about myself that I didn't have until 10 years ago, maybe. So, man, I would say do it as early as you can, but make sure you're ready. Make sure you understand how to run a business. Make sure you understand the work it's going to take and things like that, and you can make it work. Small Town Fisherman is back. Johannes says, do you know anything about what water operators do? Water operators, if you're talking about for the municipality, they help make sure that our water is clean, it's fresh, it's tested, it's inspected, and things are done right. So if that's where you're talking about, yes. If not, not sure. James Cunningham, do you mean aptitude? Yeah, somebody asked that a while ago, and that's what I'm thinking is it's just a placement. What level experience do you have, and go from there. Tunay says, help. Super J, good evening. Okay, here we go. Evanston, Florima, Florida, no experience. So are you in it and wanting to learn it? Are you wanting to get in it? Or Evanston, where are you at? Just let us know. Danny Keene, Washington, D.C. for 25 years. Man, that's great. I love that. Gustavo says, what tool do you recommend? What do you recommend I show up with to me apprenticeship interview? Sorry if I missed this form in one of your videos. Show up with a notepad, a pen, a paper, questions. I've got entire videos telling you how to go through that interview. If you'll do it, you'll do well. And I don't have time to go through every bit of that in here. But the thing is, show up with a notepad, show up with a pen, show up with a positive attitude. Show up wanting to learn. and let them see that. If you'll go watch the video, you'll nail it. Because, I mean, that's one we spend a lot of time on because we have a lot of people ask us this question over and over again. So this has really been a big one for us because I wanted to make sure people really did understand what company owners are looking for, or even the union or people like that. So lots of different ways to look at it. Chris says, what's the best way to find the clean out valve that connects house plumbing to a city system? Chris, again, another good question. There's different ways to do it. Number one, step back, look at the house, look at the vent, see if you can tell where the plumbing system comes out. See if there's a mark on the front curb or a city clean out there that can get you a ballpark of where that is. If you've been doing it plumbing long enough, you can normally look at the biggest vent, look at the yard, think, how would I have roughed this in? That helps a lot. If you can't do it that way, what you may end up doing is having to run a camera down it and a locator, find out where the sewer comes out of the house and locate it that way. Good question, Chris. Matt says, Gateway Tech College is where I'm taking it. Local Union 118 in Wisconsin requires it in order to apply for a plumbing apprentice. I will be voted in shortly after you get the test results. Matt, congratulations. I love it up there. I actually went up to Wisconsin, went up to Fond du Lac. So I've done some stuff with the union up there. It's been a while, but man, pretty cool. Jumped around on me a little bit here. Okay, so what tools? Okay, good. There you go. Victor says, could you also work as a plumber in other countries where they have different materials? I think once that you learn plumbing, you can work about anywhere you want to. Now, you may need to learn new things, have different tools, different materials, but water runs downhill. You put enough pressure behind it, you can pump it up as high as you need to. Pretty neat. Rob Muss from Connecticut. Super J wants to know where. Denny Keene says calcs suck. Man, they do. It's not a lot of fun, but it's part of the job. Normally, the good thing for us as plumbers, and I have people send me messages all the time saying, look, I don't want to get into plumbing because I'm afraid of math. It's like, look, the math isn't that bad. It takes a lot of work with some of it, but most of the time, we don't even use math. As a service plumber, about the only thing you need math for is a tape measure. Pricing, things like that. But normally it's not bad. What tools do you recommend taking to an interview? Gustavo, if you're just going to an interview, you're probably not going to carry any tools. What I would do is walk in, visit, interview, ask questions to them. And like I said, if you watch my videos, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Ask questions to them. And then if you do get offered a job, then you ask, okay, what tools do I need to show up with the first day? Or what would you like me to wear? Things like that. CJ Swick says, hey, man, my toilet isn't flushing and I don't know how to fix it. Can you help? Absolutely, man. I got videos telling you how to do that. If it's not flushing, is it backing up? Is when you flush it, does the water not go down? Man, there's a million things it can do to not flush. So let me know what you think. Danny Keene says, bring a comb. That's it. You always want to look good. And brush your teeth before you go. Don't smoke. Aaron R. says, Commodore Perry Watson Plumber's Handbook goes over fixture units and pipe sizing under UPC and IPC. Super J says, started plumbing when I was 15 as a pre-apprentice and now own your own business. Super J, I love that. Man, I'm kind of like you. I started plumbing a long, long time ago. I probably should have started my company a lot sooner than I did, but I'd have probably really messed it up. Aaron R. says, yeah, it's not a quick read. Boy, you're right there. The Plumber's Handbook's great, though. There's a lot of great stuff out there. Julie says, owning your own company isn't as easy as it looks. There's a lot of groundwork to do before you start. And we learned that because we didn't do the groundwork. We just walked up one day and said, hey, we're starting a company. Let's go. A lot of work. Brad H. Roger, what do you expect from your second year apprentices? And man, look, It depends on what you've learned, what you're good at, what your skill sets are. I've seen second-year apprentices that I think could run a truck by themselves and never look back. I've seen second-year apprentices that I wonder if 5 years is going to be long enough for them to learn it. And, different people are different. Second-year apprentices, I think, especially in residential service, and this is just me, but this is the way I look at it. If you've been with a good plumber for a year, you should know how to do pretty much everything he's doing. Because if you've done it over and over again with him, watching him, asking questions, learning the right way, yeah, a second-year apprentice, man, should be able to do just about everything we do. And I say that because here in Texas, after your second year, you've got enough hours to take the tradesman, which means I can put you in a van by yourself. So I think as a second year, you ought to know how to do it all. Gustavo, you're welcome. Thank you. Chris Little, welcome back. From Jacksonville, Florida, 5 years. Team DeWalt does not like Milwaukee. I got to tell you, I don't know if y'all can see it down there. I've got my M18 fuel pack down here. Man, I love Milwaukee too. There's so many good tools out there. But look, we've all had problems with all of them. We've all loved all of them. Man, there's good things that can make it all work. Kiki Bell and Bubba says, I'm a journeyman in San Antonio. Love that. And eligible for your master's. What are your thoughts on taking pre-courses? I recommend it. Down around there, I think you can get into Johnny Curtin's class. Johnny Curtin's phenomenal. He probably helped write the master exam or the RMP. He used to be down at the board, and he's a great guy. So I love it. Danny Kane says, I like Makita. Evanson says, yes, sir. I've been looking for a plumbing company to work for, but it's not easy to find one when you don't have experience. And I get it. I tell people all the time, watch TV, see what companies are running ads for plumbing, not for plumbers. Those people are normally hiring apprentices. Drive around town to the big job sites where the big cranes are and things like that. Look and see what all they've got going on, and maybe even pull up into the job site and go to the job trailer and say, hey, look, I'm wanting to get into plumbing. I'd like to talk to you about it and see what they tell you. Yeah, Super J says he highly recommends the pre-courses before the master exam. Look, I didn't take the courses because we didn't have to then. I didn't take courses. I took that UPC study guide and had it memorized. I knew the sizing charts. I knew the questions. I knew the pipe diagrams for gas, the gas load calculation charts. I mean, man, I could do it. So it worked. Jack's Plumbing. Thoughts on CPVC pipe in Wisconsin? All I can get my hands on is Genova Plastics or Charlotte. You know what, Jack? We really don't do a lot with CPVC. About the only thing that we do is the TMP on a water heater, and I saw that today. Ghost Face, No Faces, do plumbers like it when it rains? You know what? Some do, and I'll tell you why. A lot of plumbers, when it rains, they get the day off. If you're on a construction site and it rains and you can't work, you get the day off. I've seen plumbers waste an entire check at places of ill repute. I've seen places. I've seen plumbers go blow a check in one day at bars they probably should not have been, or things like that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're bad. I've been there, but man, if you ain't working, you don't need to be out spending money. It's going to cost you. Danny Kane says, doing fire protection, it only takes a minute to cause, $100,000 in damage. Boy, isn't that the truth? Evanston School I want to go to for your apprenticeship requires you to have a job on site first before they accept you. Man, good luck with that. Double J Double M says, what do you look for when hiring an apprentice for new construction and maintenance in your company? We don't do new construction, but I was a new construction superintendent for years. I want apprentices that listen, that show up every day, and they do what they're asked to do. And by listen, I mean listen and learn. If I'm going to take the time to show you how to do something, I don't want to show you again. I want you to say, look, I got that, and get it good and understand it. It's a big deal. Double J, double M. What do you look? Oh, got that one. Chris Little. How is the learning curve going from non-union to union? You know what, Chris? Luckily for me, it really wasn't bad. Matter of fact, it was pretty good. I was taught by some of the best plumbers I've ever known. So for me to get in the union, I didn't know the tricks on calculations and rolling offsets and measuring and calculating for 45s and 22.5s and stuff like that. But man, I figured it out and it worked pretty dadgum good. Super J says, what's the name of the valve that you always talk about? Can you send me a link? Man, which valve? I don't know. John Smith says, question, what was the hardest part that you dealt with starting up your own plumbing company? You know, it's just like any other plumber. It's just like any of us that walk out and think, I'm just going to start a business. The hardest thing any of us do. And guys, if you write down one thing out of the conversation tonight, write this down. The hardest thing you've ever got to do when you start your own company is make the phone ring. And because you've got to either advertise, build a good web page, do social media like I'm doing. There's so many different things, but the biggest one is making your phone ring, and that can keep you awake at nights. John Smith says, what's the hardest part you dealt with? Okay, got that one. The water isn't going down. So CJ, man, what it sounds like, you may need a plunger. You may need a closet auger. Is this just one toilet? Is it the whole house? Have you looked at the two-way cleanouts up front, or are they full? So lots of things to look at. Super J, Rob Musk says he's in Waterbury. And Super J, y'all are communicating. I like it. Automatic valve. A solenoid valve or something. Man, I don't know, Super J. I'm trying to think. Johnny Curtin class. You will pass first time with this class. Take the class on Saturday and Sunday. Try to take the test on Monday morning. Man, isn't that the truth? I'll tell you what. And look, that is really a neat way to put it. That's the way I became a lead AP. That is one of the hardest exams I've ever done. And look, I've done every plumbing exam there is. The hardest thing I've ever done was the lead AP exam. And the reason being, man, it was when I first picked up that book, it was like reading Russian. And I literally got to tell you, it scared the mess out of me. But what I did is I rescheduled it because, you know, when you first sign up, they just pick you a date, I think. Well, it got close to it, I realized I got a lot more studying to do. So it lets you go in and reschedule, but you get to pick the date. So I picked the date on a Tuesday after Memorial Day. I took off the Friday before Memorial Day weekend. So Thursday when I get home, I start studying Thursday night, all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, all day Monday to go take my test on Tuesday. And I got to tell you, it almost killed me, but I got it done. Commodore, I was hoping for a plain English explanation. The UPC reads like tax documentation. Okay, here's what I'll tell you. The UPC study guide doesn't. It gives you questions, and if you look in the back, there's answers. And I've got a video showing how I teach people to study by this. And yet, if anybody ever wants an easy way to study, this is it. Watch my video about how to use the study guide. Go to the back, get the answers, mark them, read through it multiple times. Mark what you got wrong, then go through and just read those again. All you're reading is the correct answer, or the question and the correct answer, and it works. Super J, so would you ever hire a master plumber? Absolutely. I want plumbers that know what they're doing. So yes, indeed. Funny Story says, how much do you typically pay year one apprentices? Right now, first year apprentices here, I think make $17 an hour. Pretty close, 16 something. It's all based on union scale. Matt Lemire says, how often do you see hateful behavior between plumbers having to work together on a big job? When do you see it? Matt, man, and look, this is sad because since I've gotten into social media, it blows my mind because people on social media, everybody wants to help everybody. And that's why I do this channel the way I do. That's why I do my videos the way I do. I want to help every one of y'all get better. If you want to get into the trades, I want to help you. If you're in the trades and you want to become a better journeyman, I want to help you. If you are a tradesman and you're good and you think, I want to open my own company, I want to help you. If you already open your own company and you want to learn to make the phone ring, I really want to help you. And that's what's bad about it is you're right. Man, when you're on a big trades job, but look, whenever I got in the union, I was a rat. They did not like me. That was a nickname. That's what I got called. But you know what? They couldn't complain about the quality of my work. So I just made sure that I always worked smarter, worked harder, worked better, but I was continuously learning everything that I could. So there is hateful behavior between plumbers, between electricians, between all the trades independently. But then you get us all on the job together. We talk more trash to each other. I mean, every single day. Most of that's fun and games, but you know, it can wear on you after a while. Manveer Singh says, plumbing with gas is good or not? How much salary? Look, guys, when y'all ask me salary, I can tell you can make $10 an hour to $80 an hour on the check. It depends on where you're at. It depends on what skill levels you have. There's so many things. As a plumber in the Dallas area, I've made anywhere from, I'm going to say just in the last 10 years, I've made anywhere from 25 to 50 something bucks an hour. So you can make what you want to make. Remember, and I talk about this in my videos, guys, bring value to your employer so you're worth more money. Learn new skills. Learn to do things better. Learn to help. Learn to train others. Let them see that you are a rock star. It's amazing. CJ Swick says, like when I press the flush thingy down, it feels like stiff. It won't flush whatsoever. So pull the lid off. When you say you push the flush thingy down, what thingy is it? Is it a commercial valve? Is it a tank type toilet? What is it? This could go on all night because there's a million different questions. So I need to know what kind of tank you have. Does it have a flapper in it? Does it have a float assembly? What's it got? There's a lot of stuff. Robert Demas. Why do jobs choose to either go UPC or IPC? It's not that the jobs choose, it's the local municipality deciding what code they want building permits or buildings built by in their municipality. So that's where it all comes from. Okay, Super J, now we're getting there. There's a product called Meter Dog. Meter Dog is a remote leak detection system. I actually talked about it in the video this morning. I got to have Eric G in here. He came in a couple of weeks ago, brought him in, got to interview him in here. Man, the guy's fantastic. But Meter Dog is a remote leak detection product that literally plumbers are going to be selling the heck out of these across the nation. Because you'll literally have an app on your phone where you can look at it and you can say, oh, I used 132 gallons of water today. And then you can look at other things. You can say that's low for the week, it's high for the week, whatever. But you can also get a notification on your phone saying, hey, you've got a leak. Your meter has not stopped turning. And when they have the valve assembly and the interface mode and all that, you'll just be able to press a button on your phone and shut the water off to your house. Meter Dog, guys, remember it. James Cunningham. Depending on the jurisdiction, the UPC-IPC decision comes down to the AHJ, the authority having jurisdiction and cost. Everything is based on cost. Yes, I can wet in Texas, but not on your test. Well, you can say not. I think I did on a test one time. Master 3 floor, so I think I did. May economy me a point, but you know what? Does everything have to be individually vented? No. It's called revent. John Smith, question, is med gas an everyday job or is it periodically? Is it a full-time job or is it as needed? And this is really, it's another good one because it depends on where you're at. If I work for a company in Dallas that does nothing but build hospitals, I can probably do med gas every day the rest of my life. If I work for Texas Green Plumbing, a residential service company that never does med gas, the only time I do med gas is if a dentist's office calls and says, hey, we've called every plumber in town. Nobody in service does med gas, but we were told you do. Is that true? Yes, it is. For the right price, we can do it because it's me who's got to go do it. It's me that's got to go out there. It's me that's got to go get the parts, order the parts, install the parts, and come back. So when it's me, Roger, the owner of the company, look, it costs a little bit more. I've got guys that run things for me now, and it frees me up to where I can do things for my business. But if you want me to come out and work on your med gas system, I can, but it does get expensive. Like that answer, don't you? Derek Sutton says, I have 1 year directions to a plumber. I wouldn't school North Tech. I went to school at North Tech. I'm just going to ask you, where do I go from here? Derek, good question. I would go out and find a job. I would find out, go to my YouTube channel, watch my free mini course, find out what kind of plumber you want to be, and then go find a job trying to be that kind of plumber. That's what it's all about. Super J, you're right. Making the phone ring, brother. Funny stories. What is something I can do every day after work as a level 1 apprentice to become a better plumber? You're there. Watch videos. Learn. Learn from plumbers, other apprentices, God, journeymen, masters, all of us. There's a lot to learn, and you're not going to learn it all where you're at. Buy that UPC study guide right now. Go to the description of my channel. I think there's a link into it because I think that is the smartest thing that there is. And it will teach you how to learn the code now so that even if you don't understand what it is, but you know how to say it, you know how to quote it, you know what the code says. Now when you're in the field and you see it, you're going to be like, that's what they're talking about. The other one is the illustrated plumbing code, and I think that's phenomenal too. Great stuff. Chris, have you ever thought of inviting other people on the trades and disciplines to make and upload videos to your channel? Man, I don't know, Chris, if you saw today, actually had Eric G. If y'all have not watched his show, he's got a YouTube channel. He's got a podcast, Around the House with Eric G. Phenomenal guy. So, yeah. And we're wanting to set up, we use vMix right here. I'm wanting to set it up where I can bring in other people. My thing is, though, if y'all seen the people that bring in other people on Zoom, it's real fuzzy. It's real grainy. We're doing it with this because we want to bring out high quality, crystal clear stuff. So what we're trying to do is probably a lot better than, and it's better than a lot of other YouTube channels are doing, not just plumbing channels, but YouTube. Great question, Clifton Kent. Do you have to have a 3-inch vent on your plumbing system to pass inspection in Texas? If I'm not mistaken, and I hadn't looked at it lately, you've got to have one full-size line all the way out the roof. So I would say yes. If your main is 4, it's got to be 4-inch out. If it's 3, it's got to be 3-inch. But if I'm not mistaken, the code still says, and look, it's been a while since I've studied code, y'all. I want to say, yeah, you've got to have one full-size line all the way out. Do you like King of the Hill, Strickland Propane versus Texas Green Plumbing? Aaron, that's pretty cute. I like that. Super J, here's a great question for plumbing interview. Ask the owner, are you a micromanager? If they say yes, then run. You know what, Super J, it's a good thing. I like that. Some company owners don't even understand they're a micromanager. Some just think, look, I'm just trying to tell people to do it the way I want to do it. Well, I understand that, but teach them the way you want it done, then let them do it. Different ways to look at it. Super J, let me know what you think of that meter dog. I'm curious. Clifton Kemp says, if you do your takeoffs for fittings and use your tape measure, let them do the math for you. Use pipe fitting and the math is easy. Man, here's the deal. Calculated Industries makes a calculator that's amazing. notepad, simple math. We've got phones with calculators on them these days. Guys, there's a lot of different things. At the end of the day, the math isn't that hard. It's really not. James Cunningham says vent is determined by drain fixture units and the length of the horizontal run. And yeah, height, overall length, overall ODL, overall development length, all kinds of things. Fixture units is the biggest one though. Valentine Sanchez, what should I look for when I look for a job as a plumber? There are so many small companies that are advertising for the need of plumbing. Could they do that without a license? Well, they can do it, but Valentine, tell me where you're located, because in Texas, you can check any plumbing company and see if they've got a license. Y'all can go look me up and see if I have a license and what kind of license I have. You know, I'll tell you all the time, look, I'm a master plumber and I have every endorsement. Anybody's free to go look at that. That's part of Texas public records. So where are you? And it may be different in different places. Clifton says it's different in Arkansas. Learning comes down to the attitude of the journeyman. Some of them just won't teach you. And Clifton, man, I've had problems with journeymen like that, and I don't like that because, look, I used to be an instructor in the union, so I see the value of teaching. I want to teach apprentices. If an apprentice works with me, I want him to be one of the best plumbers ever when he turns out. And it's a big deal to me because I want him to understand why. Why is he a good plumber? Why does he want to be a good plumber? Why is halfway in it not the right way to do it? So, man, that's a big deal to me. I believe in teaching, but, man, I've always been that way, and thank God that I had the journeyman that I did that taught me the way I did. Freaking huge for me. Derek Sutton says, I'm a registered plumber, have a year and a couple of years. I'm a registered plumber for a year, I guess, and a couple of years and working in plumbing. And I had a urine test and North take for races to plumber. I want to know if out where I go from here. And I don't get all that, Derek. I don't get it. If you're a plumber and you're a licensed plumber, you should be able to get a job anywhere. Vish Palai, can you answer this question? My dual flush tank is very often slowly leaking. I hear it refill occasionally, so I tried to remove the ridge by turning it counterclockwise. Vish, you may have to order new flappers for it. What brand is it? I've got a dual flush. It's an American Standard. You may have to rebuild it. I don't know what all you've tried there. It says you've tried removing the ridge or turning it. If it's one of those that turn to adjust the where the ball is and how long it floats, that may be part of the problem. You may just need to replace the flapper. Okay, turn it clockwise to check the flapper, but it was very hard and was not able to turn it. Can you please help me understand how to remove the ridge and check the flapper? There's different brands. What brand is it? I know I've got an American Standard dual flush at home, and literally it's got a hook that you undo, and then there's like a crossbar, and the two flappers hang from it. Man, I'd check and see. Double J double M, I would say the UPC study guide would be good for plumbers no matter where they're at. Now, check up there. I think y'all have got your own code, don't you? Here's my deal. UPC and IPC, look, they're very similar. Yes, there's a lot of differences. I get that. But at the end of the day, what you're looking for is look, the right way to run fittings they're sanitary, they're going to be safe, they're going to do things right. And the way fittings are, man, there's just not a whole heck of a lot of different ways to do it. I understand the differences. I make sure I know when I'm building something, what city I'm in, what code they go by, because there's different things to look at. There's a good one. What type of PEX brand does Texas Green Plumbing use? Look, if I'm using, I prefer Uponor. I like it because it's an expansion. It doesn't crimp. I went and looked at a house today, a new house, a new build. The plumber had put a crimp ball valve on a 3/4 PVC line going to the water here, and there's created a flow restriction. So I like Uponor. Clifton Kemp says, I'm a foreman for my dad's company and had to reprimand one of our journeymen for disrespecting his apprentice. You got to show these guys, can't holler at them. You have to show them how not to holler. I get it. You know, look, I've had plumbers scream and yell at me. It doesn't bother me. I've had plumbers take the time to really work with me and teach me things. I love that, but you know what? One screaming and yell at me, I understand, man, look, I did something wrong and I don't ever want to do that again. So I've been on both ends of it, so good for you. Danny Kane says, watch the old guy. He's already messed it up. He's already messed up what you're thinking about doing. Man, not only that, probably messed it up more than once. I'll tell you what, I have made mistakes along the way, but the good thing is, man, I've learned from them. And yes, Clifton, I love rolling offsets too. Valentine Sanchez says he's in Tennessee. So if we have anybody from Tennessee that knows what code they go by, what they're doing, things like that, yeah, put some information in there. Clifton, brother, you got it. I do love giving free advice. I love helping people out, whether it's an apprentice, whether it's a journeyman, whether it's a master, whether it's a homeowner that is like, look, I've got a toilet running. Man, I love helping. Jeremy Howell, good to have you in here, brother. God, I don't even know if I've seen you in here before. Jeremy Howell used to be one of my students whenever I was in a union, and man, a fantastic plumber. Good to see you here. Jeremy's one of those people Jeremy wanted to learn, and man, that's the best kind of student to have. Okay, Super J says, throw away the dual flush. Look, I love the dual flush. I've got an American Standard that does it. I've got an American Standard with a dual flapper. It does do a dual flush, but it's got a dual flapper too because the way it flushes, and I like that. Super J loves Toto. Clifton says, I feel as if Arkansas plumbing. That's how a good joke starts off. Let me tell you about Arkansas plumbing. I feel as if Arkansas plumbing is a lot harder than Texas as far as classes and testing go, a lot more stringent than in Texas. What do you think, Roger? Clifton, I've never studied Arkansas, but here's what I will tell you. Most people don't like getting their license in Texas because they say this is one of the hardest exams there is in the nation. And I like that. I don't know how it is in Arkansas. I've never studied it, never thought about getting a license there. Never needed to. Man, I don't know what to tell you. I'll reach out and check with some plumbers from Arkansas that I know and see what they think. Deontay, how similar is plumbing and pipe fitting? I got to tell you, and man, again, we've got some great questions today. And here's what I like about this. When I got into the union in 97, I was a plumber, period. I was a plumber, had about 17 years of experience. I was a good plumber. But I got in, and I started getting out on these big jobs, and I wanted to learn pipe fitting. The reason being is it was something that I knew nothing about. So I literally went to the vice president of the company I was at, and I said, Ronnie, look, I want to learn to be a pipe fitter. Can I work for you as a plumber during the day and then go to school at night as an apprentice as a pipe fitter? And he just laughed at me. I'm like, Ronnie, man, I'm serious. I want to learn this. And he said, Roger, look, you're going to learn it out in the field. I'll put you in position where you can learn things, where you can improve, where you can do good. But I will put you in those positions. I said, no, man, I want to go to school. I want to get this. I want to understand it. And he just laughed. He says, look, everybody that comes in from open shop into the union wants to learn everything in the world. And it's because the union teaches, man, they teach you well. At least the right teachers do. But Here's what I'll tell you. By the time I got out of the union, and I say out, by the time I quit doing commercial work, I was a general superintendent and then a director of operations for big mechanical contractors. I was running crews that were doing the pipe fitting jobs on some of the biggest jobs in Dallas. And I was laying it out. I was directing it. I was ordering it. I was looking at specs. I was helping them with roller hangers and expansion joints and all kinds of things. And I got to tell you, I loved it. It's a lot of fun. Trust me, you're never going to run half-inch copper as a pipe fitter, but you're going to run 14-inch carbon steel as a plumber. So there's good sides to both of it, and I do. I really enjoy it. Sam Ham is back in the house in New York, deciding of doing a 3-inch and 4-inch job in Pro Press versus solder. It's riser valves and water lines, 6,500 material in Pro Press, 4K in sweat. Word. What would Roger do? WWRD. Gotta like that. How many feet is it, Sam? What kind of labor dollars do you have in sweat? Because I'm telling you, your Pro Press is going to save you a ton of labor. How many joints are there? Just curious. That's actually, man, that's an interesting job. I like that. Man, I think I ran through them all again. Man, I am all over it tonight. So let's talk tool bags, and y'all can still ask some questions. I just, man, I got about 25 more minutes here. I want to talk. I want to ask y'all. Did y'all see the video that I did about the Vito Pro Pack? And I asked because I got to tell you, I love this bag, and I pulled it out again today. And Will, my CMO, went out with me to do some video work, and he's like, "Man, that bag looks good." I bought the Vito Pro Pack Blackout. It's the big one. And man, I got to tell you, this is a heavy duty bag. If you hadn't seen it, y'all go watch the video because I did it. And this is one of the most expensive bags that I think they make that I've ever found. And man, I love it. If I was traveling a lot, I would like this as a carry-on. I don't know if they're going to let me carry all my tools on though. It's got great ways to lock it. It's big enough. I mean, you can put freaking padlocks on it. It's got padding. You can add it's got a section in it. You can pull off the Velcro and put in like a laptop protector. Man, this is a very well, cool designed bag. And I've got 3 more in there now to review. And I got to tell you, man, I love my Pro Pack. I've thrown that in the van. I've pulled it out and thrown it in the Jeep. I've carried it to the house. I have done so many cool things with this. So, man, I love it. Tell me what y'all think. If you're not using a Pro Pack, what are you using other than a bucket? That's what I normally use. But I got to tell you, once I opened up that Pro Pack and saw the pockets and started squeezing my stuff down in there, I kind of got excited about it. And tell me this too. I'm, as y'all see, my sponsor wall still has not been claimed yet. We're working on that. We've got 3 or 4 different companies, 4 or 5 different companies we're talking with some different things about. We've got a big corporate sponsor that's interested. We've got other sponsors that are interested in some little one-off type stuff here and there. Love it. What kind of software do y'all use at your plumbing company? If you're a residential company, what kind of software do you use? Do you use software? What kind of dispatch system? What kind of pricing system? What kind of software? What kind of technology do y'all use? And I'm curious because I've got a couple that I like. I've got a couple that I've used, and I've got a couple that I really, really want to use. So I'm just interested in what y'all are doing or what you know that y'all are using. So y'all do me a favor. If if you work for a residential service company, do me a favor. Let me know what software do y'all use, what dispatching, invoicing, anything like that. Let me know what you use. And then I want to ask y'all another question after that. So if you do, or if you know, do me a favor, leave me a comment and let me know what they use. The other question I've got, and we've talked about this one before. What kind of jeans do you wear? And, I don't mean buckaroos or anything like that. The truth is, do you wear Wranglers or Levi's, or do you wear Carhartt? I mean, what do you wear? Me, man, I love Wranglers. I've worn Wranglers my entire life, and I like the Rigs wear, the workwear jeans that Wranglers designed. And it's RW, so I really think it's Roger Wakefield, not Rigs wear. I think they got that part messed up. But I kind of dig it. So anyway, that was my thought process. I love it though. I wear Wranglers. I've always worn them. Man, Wranglers. Actually, when I wear my bright shirts in here, man, those are Wranglers. Those are the George Strait shirts. And man, I take the George Strait shirt and cut the collar off. And these I had to trim. These are a different brand. My Wranglers, I didn't even have to trim. Those things are amazing. So, okay, so Super J wear Dickies. Okay, and see, Super J, we've talked about that before. Looks like I enjoy a good lamb chop. I'll tell you what, my thing, I enjoy a big bone-in ribeye steak. And there are some restaurants around here that can do it. Super J, no software, old school shop. There you go. 2 dish pans. Dickies, you got to love it. Sam Ham says, a mechanic at a previous shop wore a fishing tackle jacket when working jobs so he could put stuff like copper fittings in the pockets. I got to tell you, I can see that. Look, back whenever I was younger, I used to actually wear like a tool pouch. And if I was running copper, I loved it because I'd have 3/4 fittings on one side, half in the other. My big pockets, I'd have like 90s and couplings. My smaller pockets, adapters or anything else. So, man, I used to be a speed machine. I wanted to put things in faster than anybody else, straighter than anybody else, better than anybody else. And if I wanted to do it faster, I had to make sure that I had systems and processes in place that made me do it. And man, I passed one, so I'm going to jump back here real quick. Sam Ham, I'm going to break your heart. Says, also, subtle important argument in my shop, which is better, chicken nuggets with dipping sauce on the side or sauced wings? And I got to tell you, man, I don't do chicken nuggets. We've got a restaurant here in Texas called Hooters. I'm just going to take a moment. I'm just taking a moment. Here we go. Okay. I want to make sure I got my thought right. I like these smoked dry wings. And you can't just tell them dry or they think you want them smoked with no sauce or anything. I like them smoked with like a dry rub. I think it's garlic habanero. And then I like my sauces on the side to dip them. So I probably messed you up, but I don't do chicken nuggets. I don't do Chick-fil-A. And man, look, heard nothing about great things about customer service, and I love that. But I just got to tell you, man, I'm not a chicken nuggets guy. I'm a wing guy. Let me see. Danny Kane says, true that. Me as well, Roger. Yezefin says, can you recommend a tire for apprenticeship interview? I have one coming up in 2 weeks. Yeah, go back and watch the first of this video. Don't wear a tie. Guys, look, dress nice. Wear nice jeans, wear a nice shirt, tuck it in, wear a belt. Don't wear a baseball cap. Don't carry your phone in. And act as professional as you know how to be. And it'll make all the difference in the world. Sorry, guys, I had to hydrate. Corvus9 says, how much does an apprentice with zero experience, how much does an inexperienced with zero experience should expect to make an hour? You know, we talked about this earlier. It depends on where you're at, and it depends on what kind of company you're going to go to work for. Residential service company probably can't pay you as much to start out, but you've got potential to make more money sooner. The neat thing about it is if you're in the union, you get guaranteed raises 4 times a year in Dallas right now. You get the 2 annual cost of living, plus you get your 2 annual apprentice percentage raises. So it's really a pretty cool deal. You start out at $17 an hour, and basically you get like $4 an hour raise every year till you graduate. So it's not a bad gig. I may start over just so I can get raises now. Danny Kane says in DC, $15 an hour. Okay, so Atlas 46 has a full line of tool vests. Danny always wears a belt. Would you rather use PEX or copper? Man, I like copper. Big Bear Plumbing, hello and goodbye. Glad you were here. Great seeing you. And pretty much I'm going to say that here pretty quick. Hello and goodbye. Man, we've had fun today, but I'm telling you what, I'm wore out. I had a long weekend. I hope everybody had a great, safe 4th of July. I got to talk to Vito Propak this weekend. Love that. We've got some different people we're talking to. Systems. Okay, so my idea is, has anybody used Successware 21? Has anybody used Service Titan? Has anybody used Service Line? Invoice ASAP? Systems like that. Because, man, I think that some of these systems out here can change our lives and the way we do things, and I think that's great. Zachary said, started plumbing at 18. Wish I would have started sooner. Guys like you are what I inspire to be later down in life. Zachary, man, I appreciate that. Here's what I would tell everybody in here. Whether you're male or female, whether you're black or white, whether you're smart or not the smartest person in the room, this is a great trade. This is a great career to be in. And it's funny because I'm working on a speech. Some of y'all know I travel around the country and speak a lot of times at social media events. And, of course, there hadn't been a lot of traveling here lately. But one of my things, because I always think about how do I get people's attention? How do I get them in? How do I make them listen and believe me? But one of my things is, I was a high school graduate. I was in the bottom quarter of my class. And as somebody in the bottom quarter of my class, you too can become a millionaire. You too can open a company, run a company, and do $1 million a year. So guys, look, don't ever let anybody doubt you. Don't let anybody ever tell you what you cannot do. And man, my thing is look, if you're smart enough to be in here watching, listening, and learning, you're smart enough to do what you want to do. I tell people all the time, I was on the treadmill one morning, and Gary Vee, I'm watching him, and Gary Vee was talking, and he's on stage, and he's talking to a group, and I'm going to paraphrase it and say it a little nicer. He says, look, I don't care if you're 20, 50, or 70, you can do this. He says, let me say that again. I don't care if you're 20, you're 50, or you're 70, you can do this. And guys, I'm literally on the treadmill, and I step off to the side, I grab the handlebars, and I'm looking at it, and I reached up and I backed it up. And after I backed it up, I played it again. And then I backed it up and I played it again. And that was the moment. Now, I had already known that I wanted to go learn social media, knew where I wanted to go, knew who I wanted to learn from. I knew so many things, but I still hadn't done it. And until Gary Vee stepped in and did that and said that, I did not know for sure I was going to do it. I didn't know I could do it. So what I tell people all the time is I needed somebody to give me permission. And now I think that's sad. Zachary says he wished he'd have started sooner. JJ says, is 40 too old to start? No. Okay? I'm 56. If you were my age right now and started right now at 40 and say, look, I've been doing this 16 years now, man, hats off to you. You can do it. Guys, this is an amazing career. And I don't know how more people aren't aware of it. This is an opportunity that we all have to learn and grow. Learn how to be a better human being. Learn how to better support your family. Learn how to better support yourself. Learn how to get a job, get a career to where you can move up and be the person you want to be. You can be a business owner. You can do all kinds of things. It's a big, big deal. And if you'll do it, and if you'll do it right, man, it really can help you. You've got an opportunity to change your life. Don't let anybody ever tell you you can't. Don't let anybody tell you you're too old. I had an apprentice whenever I was teaching, 55 years old. 55. 55 years old. Man, if he can start at 55, can anybody else start at 40 or 30? I have people ask me, look, I'm 27. Is it too old to start? No. Get started. Guys, this is something, you have an opportunity to change the direction of your life. You have an opportunity to say, look, I don't want to work at Jack in the Box anymore. And nothing against Jack in the Box. Matter of fact, if you worked there, I'd take some super tacos, just saying. Be kind of nice. But my thing is, this is all what you want to do. This is all what you're willing to do, what you're willing to learn. Are you willing to do what it takes to improve your life? Because this is how you do it. You learn something. Learn how to improve your life. And it doesn't matter to me whether you are 15 years old in high school, whether you are in college and you're like, look, I hate this. I want something different. Whether you are already in the trades, whether you're an apprentice somewhere. Sorry, I got an itch. Whether you're already an apprentice somewhere, whether you are a journeyman and you want to get better, whether you're a journeyman, you want to open your own company. Maybe you're the person that already owns your own company and you want to make the phone ring even better. This is where you learn it. This is what we're talking about. These are the things that you do. These questions that I get in here are all to help you grow. People come in and say, look, man, can you tell me how to do this? Yeah, I can tell you, but look, I got 5 videos that could even explain it better. And if you'll take the time to learn it, you'll take the time to learn it right. You know, I tell people, I don't want to just teach you to be a plumber. I want to teach you to be the best freaking plumber anybody in your city's ever seen. And then when I say, wow, man, where did you learn to be the plumber you are? One day, I hope you say, you know what? I learned it from a guy named Roger Wakefield. Never met him, but I learned it from him. Because you have the opportunity and it is up to you. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Thank you very much. Corvus 9 says, thank you, sir. I was offered 17 on our open shop and thought it was kind of low. Man, that's 34 grand a year for starting out. That ain't too shabby. Clifton Kemp, I worked in Texarkana on both sides, and it seemed like Arkansas was harder. I'm a plumber in Arkansas. The inspectors seem tougher in Arkansas. And, you know, man, that can boil down to one inspector. It can be a lot of different things. I'm just telling you what I've been told, that most people don't like plumbing, coming to Texas and getting their plumbing license because it's hard to get your license here. Super J, can I use some of your videos on my Facebook page, or is that considered copyright infringement? Man, I'll ask Will about that. I've had people like share them to their Facebook page and, you know, leave comments about, hey, Roger talks about this. I have no problem with that. long as you're not trying to make it out like you're me and, you know, those are your videos and stuff like that, I don't have any problem with it. I have people share my videos on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and I have people share my stuff all the time. I have no problem at all with that, Super J. Just, you know, tag me in it. I'll go in and say hi, leave a comment or something like that. But thank you very much. Barney Films 85 says, thank you for doing these live videos. They really pick up my mood on days like this one when I have bad jobs going on. And I'm fighting the urge to quit my job because of a bad employer. You know what, Barney Films, look, man, you can change anything in the world because you can change your attitude. And with the right attitude, you can find a new job, or you can say, hey, I'm going to talk to my employer and make this one better. There's a million different things. And look, I don't know your situation, so I'm not trying to tell you do it one way, do it another. I'm not trying to tell you anything at all like that. But what I want to say is, man, in today's world, if we're not treated fairly at work, we all have opportunities. We can change that. And hopefully, changing it's all it takes. But do the work to determine where you're going. Is it going to be a better position? Is it going to be the same thing somewhere else? I've had some plumbers that we've actually cut loose that, man, you come in and man, they're great when they first come in. They're like, oh my God, this guy hung the moon. I can't wait to get him in here. Says he knows how to do everything in the world. There's nothing he's lacking. Oh my gosh, this guy's going to be here forever. He told me, look, I don't jump jobs, man. I'm here. I want to be here. And a few months later, when you got to cut him loose because he's screamed and yelled at your customers or stole from you or whatever it is he did. And he goes to other companies and other companies and other companies. And 2 or 3 months later, you know, you've got like the 6th phone call from a different company. Hey, we're thinking about hiring him. What do you think? It's like, yeah, good luck with that. Hope it goes great. Have a great day. Man, we all have the opportunity to leave. We all have the opportunity to make a change. Just make sure that you know where you're going, you know what you're getting into, and it really is better than where you're at. And man, I mean that, because Barney Films 85, look, I want nothing but the best for you. I want nothing for the best for everybody in here. You know, we talked about that earlier. I've got this new social media attitude. It's like, look, I want to help everybody. As plumbers, you know, we're talking about plumbers being on the same job, fighting each other. The negative attitudes, the this and that, and look at it happens every single freaking day. But it's not just the plumbers, it's the plumbers versus electricians. That's another great video. Plumbers versus HVAC techs, the drywall guys. I mean, everybody in the world. But man, we can all make it better. I'll get off my soapbox again. Thank you. Kasai, I start next week. Very excited. Thanks for all the videos. You're welcome. I hope you watch them and learn. And get in there and learn, so when you walk in that first day, you've got an idea what's going on. You know what you need to be looking at. You know the things you need to be thinking about. Man, you'll do great. Congratulations. Your thoughts on doing pro bono plumbing work for the elderly or adults with disabilities? You know, Kiki, Bell, and Bubba, I love this question. I believe you do it. I believe you've got to verify. Trust but verify. We literally got a phone call one day. A lady called and says, look, I got to tell you, I don't know what to do. I'm disabled. My husband's disabled. My eldest child is disabled. The city is going to turn off our water because we've got a leak and we don't know what to do. They're not even in our service area. And, you know, my wife took the call and she came in to see me, and she's not in here anymore, but she comes in with like tears in her eyes and she says, look, I got a question. Is it something we want to take on? Is it something we want to look at? Is it something we have time for? And I'm like, no. Okay, let's do it. And I go over and look at it, and I got to tell you that this is one of the roughest houses I've ever walked in. And those of y'all that know my story, you've heard me talk about going in Section 8 housing with stopped up toilets, and I just literally could not even breathe. And this was almost that bad. And this lady literally, I mean, she like puts her head down because I have to walk in the bathroom and it looked horrible. And she just kind of puts her head down and you can see the tears on her face. And she said, look, please don't judge me because my house is a mess. I can't get out of the wheelchair and I can't get a lot of help. And man, she had a slab leak. We had to tunnel up in her house to fix it. But you know what? We did. And when we fixed it, we realized that the tub and shower inside, the valves needed to be rebuilt. We did. There's a lot of things that we did. Do I tell you I look for jobs like that? No. But do they come along? They do. And you know what? Sometime, and I'll go back to a dream. Y'all see the cross over my shoulder. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I always have. What I want to tell you is I woke up from a dream one day and literally, and look, I don't remember my dreams. But I woke up from a dream one day and I mean, vividly. When Julie woke up, I was looking, she said, what's wrong? I said, man, I had a dream. And she kind of looked at me like I was funny. And the only thing that I could remember is I heard a voice tell me, help the ones you can. And I was like, wait, what? And I heard the voice again, help the ones you can. So I know that's a big, long, drawn out, Kiki, I am sorry. Kiki, Bell, and Bubba, I am really sorry. You got the long, extended version. That's me. I love what I do. And, based on that, I want to go back to, I'm an HVAC tech, and I took training over at a school in Irving. And one of the instructors was called Professor Bill. And he came in and substituted my class one day, and he came in and he looked at me. He said, Roger, he says, what did Tony tell us we're supposed to teach today? I said, well, we're supposed to be talking boiling points on refrigerants and this and this and this. He said, yeah, Tony can cover that anytime. He says, we're going to talk customer service. We're going to talk about your customers and how you treat them. And everybody's like, oh, God. And he started talking. And look, I was already a plumber, already been a plumber for years. I've done residential service before. And he's talking, he said, I just want to let y'all know, there are going to be customers in your life when you have your companies. You're going to have customers that can pay you what you're worth so that you can take care of the customers that can't pay you at all. And I want y'all to think about that because that has stuck with me so hard. You will have customers in your life that will pay you what you're worth so that you can afford to take care of the customers that can't afford to pay you at all. And man, that stuck with me like a brand. And I just got to tell you, again, Kiki, Bell, and Bubba, you got the long version. I love what I do, and I love taking care of people. Oxy Chewy says, hey, Roger, how could I get into the commercial plumbing in the area of Austin, Texas? Man, that's a great question. And I've got videos telling you how to apply for it and do things like that. Oxy Chewy, and I hope that's Chewy like Chewy's restaurant. Started in Austin on Barton Springs. Drive around Austin, look for the tower cranes. When you find them, go to the job site. Ask who the plumbing company is. Ask them if they're hiring, things like that. So great opportunities, great question. Guys, slow down on the questions. I'm going to get through the rest of them, but I got to slow down. It's time for me to run. Thomas Rath says, hello, Roger. I'm an apprentice in New Jersey working with your father since 16, now 25, and on my second year of trade school. We use Successware 21, but my brother's company uses Service Titan. Thomas, which one do you like it? What does your brother like it? Now, what do y'all do? Because we're looking at new software possibilities. I've talked to the people at Successware 21, talked to the people at Service Titan. Man, there's some amazing product out there. Just very interesting. Danny Kane says, always help old folks. Barney Films 85 said, plumbers are popular. There are always people who wants to help them out. Always want us to help them. On my way home from work, I have to go to replace 2 water heaters for a friend of mine. And tomorrow, it's a hose bib for mother-in-law. Hey, you got to take care of mother-in-law. I'll tell you that right now. John Smith, is custom plumbing something hard to get into? No, because I don't think that there's any really custom plumbing. I think, getting in touch with the right custom home builder and letting him know, look, customer service is your cup of tea. It's what you're going to do to help him help his customers. That's the big deal. And Julie's right. She called the city and double checked. So you do what you got to do, but we called the city and they said, look, this lady actually is telling the truth. And if you're telling us you're going to work with her, we will not turn her water off. And they didn't. It was great. We're supposed to take care of who can't take care of themselves. Amen. Danny King took note. Help the ones you can. Thank you. Thank y'all. Amber, so amazing to get to help people the way we do, get to help people the way we do. Thankful every day to be part of this team. Amber Mendoza is my CCR. Yeah, man, helping people's big. And we talked about this earlier in the video. It's the best part of the job, getting to really help people, to be honest with them, to offer them options, and to not rip them off, because there's a lot of freaking plumbers that are. So, absolutely. The Michigander, Roger, I'm an apprentice 6 months in at a local company. A lot of our jobs are 1-2 hours away and paid only one way. Using your own car, any advice? Are premiums uncommon for out of town? Man, it depends on if you're union, open shop. There's a lot of things that it depends on. But man, I'll tell you this. It normally pays one way. Man, an hour or two out of town, though, that gets kind of tough. Man, that's actually gets really tough. So that's interesting. All right. Amarantima, man. Amaranth Teorama. I'm sure I'm jacking that one up, but God, I got close. I've only been listening for the last 2 weeks. First live. You do an incredible job here, Roger. Amazing teaching work. Thank you from my part here in New Jersey. Man, look, I love New Jersey. I love New York. I think y'all have got a great training programs up there. The union's strong up there and doing a good thing. Actually, last time I was up in Piscataway, I got to go to Boston, see the local there, talk to a bunch of local plumbers in New York. It was great. I loved it. So thank you so much. Shady Production. Hello, I've just started work as an intern and learned plumbing. Will I learn the basics and get some of the work done if I join a company abroad with this kind of length experience, 6 to 8 months? Anything's possible. Here's the deal. Learning as an intern and working and growing is going to be good for you. You're going to get good. You're going to learn things. The thing is, guys, keep learning. Look at me. I'm 56 years old. I don't stop learning. Ask Julie and Amber. Every single day I am learning. I still love it. I still get excited about it. I still love to take on new things. I love to take on things that I literally know nothing about. Look at me on social media. Look at me on YouTube. 2 years ago, 2 years and 3 months ago now, I didn't even know what YouTube was. Until April of 2020, we didn't really put videos up. Now, don't get me wrong, I had some, but those are some that I paid a marketing and media company to make. Man, April of 2020, we started making our own videos and started doing all this. What started all this crap? This is what it was. So, guys, look, if you like this, do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up. The screens I see anymore, I don't even see if I've got thumbs up. If I don't, I'm upset with y'all. Not really, I'm joking. If I do, thank y'all very much. We've still got 31 people in here, but I am going to have to cut out. I've got to get ready for a busy day tomorrow. Man, Shady Production, thank you so much. I'm glad that you found me. Yeah, April of 2018, 2 years ago, is when our first video went up. So, 3 months. We're in July now. So, yeah, 2 years and 3 months. It's been crazy. Guys, like I told you, Corvix 9. Thank you very much. So if you want to learn all things plumbing on YouTube, this is a place to do it. Learn plumbing live right here on YouTube. If y'all jumped in here, you hung around till now. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much. If you're trying to find something specific about plumbing, check out some of my other videos. We've got plumbings where we teach you how to fix your plumbing problems, how to grow your plumbing company, how to get into the trades, things like that. If you've enjoyed it, great. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the Expert Plumber. Got that title from winning a contest, Plumber Know-How Contest from American Standard back in 2016. I fell in love with social media and started finding out I can use it and find a way to teach people that want to get into the trades, that want to get better at the trades, or that want to start their own company or get better at their own company, how to make the phone ring. And that's what we're trying to teach people how to do. So if you like it, I hope you are. Man, subscribe, ring the bell, jump back into that. And thank you all. Jeremy, it was amazing to see you in here. Thank you so much. JJ, Danny King, man, all you guys, thank you for being in here tonight. Thank you for the comments. Show you production. I'm glad you found me. Glad that you jumped in. Julie, thank you for coming and hanging around. So I'm going to get out of here. I'll leave the chat up for a little bit. I got some stuff to shut down, then I'll get ready to. But number one, thank you all for what you do. And that was a great comment tonight, a great thing to end on and talk about. Remember, take care of the ones you can. Help the ones you can. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the Expert Plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.